Well, in April, the governor of Oklahoma came here for a press conference and announced that as the governor, he was able to select a site in his state, a national site in his state that represented the state of Oklahoma. He chose the memorial, and at that time the reporters asked him, well, what part of the memorial would you like to be shown on the coin? And he said the survivor tree, because it stood for the hope and the resilience of the people of Oklahoma and the future. It also remembered one of the worst things that happened here, but also highlighted the good that came out of the very worst. That was his decision. He made the decision, turned it into Treasury, into the U.S. Mint. We heard in July that the Mint had denied that request because the Park Service had not approved it because we were not an official unit of the National Park Service. We had been an official unit until about 5 years ago. And we changed our own status, went back to Congress and asked to be an affiliate of the Park Service, because this entire time, the foundation that built this memorial museum, raised all the money to build it, we had transferred the title to a wholly owned government corporation. Very confusing federal government trust. The same Oklahomans were on it, but it made it very cumbersome and really not possible to run this national memorial with the mandates that were mandated by being a unit of the National Park Service. So we asked for our status to be changed. It was a frustration with the Park Service. They didn't like it. We weren't crazy about it either, but it was the best way to make this place last forever. And so I'm not sure that, the decision wasn't a backlash from that decision that we asked Congress to do 5 years ago. It may not have been, but it also, I think, very well could have been a way to say, you're not going to be in our group, then we'll make a decision that affects you. And so we're obviously very disappointed, frustrated by the fact that they can be a partner here and not be able to be on the quarter. Is very disappointing to us. We believe that Memorial is the most recognized national site in the state, but when it comes down to it, it's their prerogative, and they made the decision, and we'll live with it. What most people do not realize when they come here, because they see the National Park Service Rangers, which they are here at our request. We want them here. It was a federal building that was bombed. It was the government that was attacked by this American who thought he could change government. So it's the perfect place to have this partnership of privatization and the public, the government. But at the same time, it's give and take on both sides. But most visitors don't realize when they come here is that it's a privately owned and operated site. Most people think the federal government pours money in here. We don't get any annual money from the government, federal, state, or city. It's what operates and maintains this site and its beauty are admission dollars through the front door, about $1 million of fundraising a year, and earnings from our endowment and gift shop sales. That's how we fund and operate this site. And most people do not realize that. So if there's anything good that comes from them pulling us off the quarter, and maybe it's our way of getting the message out that we need the public support to make this place be here forever.